What's going on, everybody? It's Retro Handhelds 24 and the wait is over. We got the Konkr Pocket Fit. Finally came in. I know people are waiting. It took me, it shipped or label was created on the 2nd of December. It's now the 17th, so do the math. That was about 15 days. Roughly, it's going to be somewhere similar to that for everybody else. They do ship it to another country, and then that country ships it to whatever state you're in. And I used UPS, and I didn't have to pay extra or anything, and UPS got it to me roughly fairly quick, a couple days once it got to America. It was like UPS got it on the 13th and it's the 17th because of the weekend and stuff, so still pretty quick. So hang in there because it's coming. I already unboxed it, of course, and I put the screen protector on. So we're gonna just take a look at it. I don't have anything on here. This is gonna be just like what it looks like for the white model, which again, I think this is the best color. Not just because it's clean and white, it's just because the black and yellow I wanted for the joysticks and the buttons and like that contrast, but I figured it was too much of a risk, because I just felt like that model was going to be harder to get because everybody ordered it. So of course I got a bunch of white models. I was like, all right, but my second choice was the black model with the red buttons because it just got like the ANEO Micro with the one without the joysticks. I wanted to get that one, the black and red, so bad, but I never could get myself to do it because it was it a Helio 99? I was like, it was too much money. So I was like, all right, might as well just get another white handheld. But I gotta say, like, it's awesome. The joysticks are, if you have an ANEO product like the Ace or the Pocket S, we do have the smaller joysticks. Now, I didn't check the packaging completely. I don't know if they sent me, I'll try to see. I don't know if they gave me extra joy caps like they did with the Pocket S2 Pro, which don't fit. You have to shave down to get them to fit, and then like they go on, they're not going to come off unless you really shave them down. And I kind of did that just in case I wanted to swap them out, because when I first put them on, it was, oh, they did. Yeah, so these are great, and they're just not molded the right way. A lot of people say they don't fit. It's because they have extra stuff in there that you just need to like take whatever you can fit in there and just shave it down, and then they'll fit. And I thought these were perfect because they were more plastic than these rubbery ones, but they turn yellow. And these, believe it or not, turn yellow too. So I had to put caps on them, So I was like, how am I going to solve that problem? Because if I'm going to be showing this thing off, I don't want that, like, looking bad. It's primarily why I wanted the black version too. It's like, well, I don't have to worry about any of this happening. The white models you just have to keep clean all the time. But what a fantastic handheld so far. Just like the feel. Like, it's everything I thought it was going to be. The buttons are quiet. And I thought they were going to be the same buttons on the Ace, but check this out. Like, the Ace, it's similar to the Ace, but the Ace, believe it or not, has better quality. They're more flat, and it's a premier, I don't know how to explain it, but you can feel it. Like, it's just a better plastic button. But it's very similar, right? Because they're kind of circle and flat. It's very similar, but I could see where they cut kind of corners here. But these feel better than the Pocket 2S Pro just by a little bit because they're a little more flat. Like, these are the best, then these buttons, and then the Evo has better buttons than the Pocket 2S Pro, but the Pocket 2S Pro has buttons that are similar to the Evo, right? The Evo has just buttons that push back no matter what. So like long-term gaming for streaming was primarily what I use for it because it's just so comfortable. it's got the buttons. These are flat. This would be great for like Super Nintendo, platforming, just because they're low and they got a good click. They're quiet. Everything's quiet. And the buttons came with the locks on, so hopefully you can hear this. It's kind of like a click, but it's not a micro switch click, which I wish it was. But it's nice. It's almost there. And this is nice too, because from the other reviewers, this didn't look as nice as it does on my model, but I didn't see too many models of the white. The overall feel and the back buttons, a lot of people are hating on them. They're just fine. They're just fine. They don't get in the way. If you squeeze it like this because of the teardrop, you can access them easily, and you can hold this with no problem with one hand. Amazing. The D-pad is very similar to the D-pad on the Evo. It's just almost as good. But it's still, if you don't have an Evo, don't worry about it. This will be the best D-pad. It's hard to say, but this is stiffer. You can just hear how stiff this is. This is a little looser, so it's softer, but I would use this D-pad over this D-pad, and this is a D-pad centric device, which kind of sucks. But it's a very nice D-pad, so win on that. Joysticks, it is what it is. The grip, like the overall feel right here with the ergonomic bumps, because the speakers are so low and it goes so low, it's just how I figured. It's amazing. It's just a little better than the Odin 2 Max that I have, because it's more curved and not straight down. So since it curves in more, it fits more in your palm, and it's like basically less likely to drop it. You don't want to drop this, even though this is like a budget brand. It's still, I feel, with all the handhelds that I have, this is still very premium. It's just what they should have did, and I'm glad I didn't pass it up because I had the Pocket 2S Pro, because we have the same chip. Now for the caps, I'm gonna just take them off because I'll save them for this one. If those ever go yellow, those are still staying strong. And then I had bought a bunch of caps back in the day from AYN, and I bought gray ones just in case I wanted to mix it up because I have white and black. And I was like, man, I haven't used these. I don't know what to put them on. I was like, this is going to be the perfect ideal situation. Oh yeah. It doesn't get in the way for the buttons if you're worried. They do stick out a little bit. I don't know. I might take the caps out of the Thor and put them on here, but I do like the concave versus convex, so I might just keep them like this. Like, this feels amazing. Because again, we already seen what this can do. I mean, I'll do a video where we could go back to back because we have the higher refresh rate screen. But for me personally, like, besides showing it off on the channel, it's gonna be another streaming device. It just is, because the comfortability, basically the triggers, the locks, so like shooting games is gonna be a lot easier. Like, getting to all the buttons up here is very comfortable. These buttons feel amazing. It's just a smaller version of the Evo, but don't get it wrong, the Evo is still by far the most comfortable handheld. I was scared, but this is very close, so this is still very good. It's just slightly smaller. So my biggest concern was like how it was going to feel, or how was it compared to the Odin 2. Just Pro, Max, whatever you got, the Odin 2, and check it out, it's actually smaller than the Odin 2. And because of the joysticks down here, like, yeah, it's not so bad with the bigger sticks, but as you can see, the joystick's more in, so it is easier to get to. And again, this is why I would use it for streaming, you know, or, you know, if I get a game working that's good FPS for a shooter game, This is going to be it. The only problem that this thing comes with is the joysticks. And those can be easily replaced because all the joysticks, they're swappable, right? But I spent some time and I thought about it. I was like, I don't know what to put on here. I want to keep these on, but I'll probably take them off and put something else on depending on how I feel. It's just, I don't know. I might put the bigger ones on and then put the caps on. Take the caps off this one and put it on here. We'll see. But I do like the concave versus the convex. And these buttons, they are gray, so it does kind of match. And like I said, the back buttons are just fine. They're easy to get to, they're not hard to press. And I don't know what people were expecting because I rarely use the buttons on the back of the Odin 2. And once my Odin 3 comes, we're going to do a comparison because I've got a blue model too. But I do use these for like macro keys, especially with other apps like basically PX Play or something where I need to use them as a hotkey to get out of a game or get back to the home menu. I could just click this because you know you have to tap here for the PS5 remote. Forget that, you could just assign it to the back button. I'll do the same on this because it has back buttons. And then these two buttons right here, back, and then that minimizes the window they're in. You could just then close it. So you don't even really have to do anything. Or you could hit this and swipe up to close it. So it's just convenient with these, what's R1 and R2. Or LC and RC. Yeah, there you go. And also I didn't go over this, but I got the 16 gig 512 because it was the cheapest with the most RAM, obviously. Do I regret not getting the terabyte? Well, of course. I mean, if you get any of these handhelds, you want to get the most storage so you could just keep going. Especially with my channel, it's like I would rather just keep stuff on here, not have to delete it. Maybe come back to it later when there's an update or whatever, the game emulator, and then just, you know what I mean? Especially on internal storage versus a micro SD card. But I was like, I already got the Pocket S2 Pro. It's the same chip. It has a higher refresh rate screen. I'll have to do screen comparisons. But you know, I don't know. But I didn't see a huge jump in performance versus the 2 because it's the same chip. So I was like 16 gigs, and that was well before the RAM issue and all that. I was just like 16 gigs is good for PC emulation. And as you know, the G3 Gen 3 is no slouch. It's not the Elite, but the compatibility is so there, so you don't have to do much. Things will just work, and you'll get better performance than the 8 Gen 2. So an 8 Gen, or essentially 8 Gen 3 or G3 Gen 3 chip and an Odin 2 like, you know, design it was like I convinced myself. I was like, no, I need to get it. I'll just get the cheapest model. And I just got a screen protector, that was it. So it wasn't that cheap, but compared to any other handheld that has this chip, like this handheld, which I already got, it's so much money. And it was too much of a good deal to pass up, so I was like, all right, I'll get it. And like I said, the joysticks was my biggest concern because I knew they were going to ship it with the tiny joysticks. And if I get the white model, the joysticks are going to, you know, they're not going to stay white forever. They're going to get yellow. So I was like, I got to switch those out. And I know it sounds stupid, but these are like my concerns about this handheld. And also, like, it being white, you got to keep it clean. And eventually, I haven't had it happen, but I'm assuming the plastic will start fading. It hasn't happened yet on any model, but you'd be surprised. Probably the black models, even though they're smudgy with any type, it probably will last longer than any other color, so keep that in mind. But the glass front, it feels better than what they were advertising. Like, they're advertising it's a budget handheld. This doesn't feel like a budget handheld. This feels like, you know, AYN and ANEO combined forces here, even though they didn't. And the sub-brand Konkr, like, the D-pad's fantastic. These buttons are fantastic. These buttons they're okay. And also we got these two buttons that let's see if we can figure it out. In the settings, maybe custom. I already did my performance modes, just mimicked basically, except that should be on high. Oh, it didn't save. I gotta save it, I guess. But yeah, these are all gonna get changed to basically the Pocket S2 Pro, and I'll make a video on that. But anyways, I'm not sure exactly how. I don't want to waste time on this, but you can assign these to be start and select. Awesome! Already beats the Pocket S2 Pro because we don't have a button up there. And I gotta say, like, for a budget device, it still feels like an A&EO device. Like, this is metal right here, and if you take the case off, it's heavier than this, but this still has a good amount of weight. It's just as heavy as the Odin 2 Max, so it does feel premium. So they shouldn't knock it so much like a budget handheld. They just should have been doing it this way for a long time. And the speakers are apparently awesome. We'll get into more of that once I get games on here, but front firing and the fact that they come down here so nothing really gets in the way, and it also makes the device right here bigger. And I never really talked about this, but this is just the A&EO 3 in the handheld form. This Pocket Evo is the A&EO S2 in an Android form. Android form, A&EO 3, A&EO 2. And I always wanted those PC handhelds, but one, I couldn't afford the A&EO 3. Like, let's be real, that was way too much money. But the fact that you can swap out stuff, I thought that was really cool. Battery's weak, but overall it looked awesome. Like, it looked awesome. So it's like when this came out, it's like, oh hell no, they did the same thing and made it super cheap. Again, not super cheap, but cheap. I was like, I need to get it. So overall appearance, it's a win. It's for sure a win. Just by looking at it, the way it feels. Swapping out the joysticks, not a problem. The joysticks have no grind. Like, they're really good about the rings here. The D-pad is fantastic. It's not stiff. It's not too loose. It's just right. And these buttons are quiet, and the shoulder buttons are quiet. Even these are quiet. And then these in click mode, they're still quiet. So everything's quiet. These are the only things that are loud. And let's be real, no one's gonna be mashing these. So overall, it's fantastic. And this is just like on the Evo. You could pop this open. You got your magnet in there and your little metal thing right there, so it stays, and that's where the SD card goes. And there's a headphone jack. So cool, so freaking cool. And someone was saying about the fan. I mean, the fan could be better than the Pocket S2 Pro. I mean, it's got a bigger grill right here, so it could be a bigger fan. So that might be another reason. If you can get it, get it. And if you ordered it, just hang in there. Just hang in there. It's going to be worth it, because I haven't heard anything about another handheld coming out that's Odin 2 like, that has a better chip and it's cheaper. Like, everybody's concerned about OLED. Like, if the game works better, you're going to want the better chip, regardless of OLED screen, unless you're strictly into streaming and you want something, a form factor that's comfortable. Like, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be this. The Odin 3, I'm already gonna knock it now. It's not comfortable. The joysticks are gonna be sticking out way too much. And I did order a case, the grip. So it's just like the Portal all over again. And we'll do a comparison of the Portal. Look at this thing, right? Look, just look at this thing. Like, don't get me wrong, they made this like the Logitech G Cloud with this. They listened to Russ. They were like, oh yeah, we gotta take his word. And it's super comfortable because of this case. Now, if you don't have a case, it's okay, but it's not that comfortable. And it's great for streaming. Wi-Fi 7, can't be beat. The buttons are okay. D-pad is good. The triggers are okay. These are okay. Everything's okay in my personal opinion. The screen is fantastic, but I have the same screen over here with better ergonomics that I don't have to attach a case to. We're moving into the same territory again. There's no case that's needed unless they make a case to protect it, you know what I mean? It's just overall comfortable. And the triggers, here, let's go to the back. We'll turn these down. So right here, as you can see, it's fine, you know, There's nothing special about this, but the fact that there's more of a curve to the oval shape, it's easy to push down. You're not going to have to like go here to push down. You could go here and push down because it's more curved, kind of like the Pocket S2, like the Ace. They even did it on here. Not as much because it's got the bumps and it's overall round right here, but still fantastic. And look at how long these go. So like you could click it like this. You don't have to click it down like this. You just tap it. The only thing you do have to reach for is the LC and RC. Not gonna lie, it's easier on a rectangle shape, Pocket S1 and Pocket S2, easiest. Evo and here, it's about the same, like you have to reach for it. But these buttons are fantastic. You could probably map these to the back. That'd be even easier, right? Because that doesn't have back buttons. So that's another win. But the start and select, huge win. So it's hard to say, but I am very impressed with this already, and I haven't put anything on it. If you watch my channel, you already know what the G3 Gen 3 can do. Hyperplay RPG. He's been raving about it too. And it's not just the chip, it's the overall form factor, it's the price, it's everything about this. And A&O was doing their best to get it to people, so can't really knock them because, like I said, I got mine through UPS, and there would have been a whole kinds of like things I would have to pay for if they didn't do it the way they did. And I had reached out to A&O because Konkr was, you know, if you were on their Indiegogo page, they're not just the best with responses. So you just have to just email them to see what's going on. And they explained it to me like, okay, it's going to ship here and then it's going to ship to you. So we can avoid all of these tariffs and we can avoid all the extra costs because it's UPS. Because I was going to change it to like the Odin 3 is 4XP or whatever. So who knows when that's coming. Hopefully before Christmas. But don't be too hard on them because I know a lot of people cancel the orders like don't do it because there's no other handheld that has this. Unless you cancel your order and buy it like off AliExpress through a reseller and you get the model that you wanted, you're probably gonna have to pay more, but don't pass this up. I can tell you right now without playing anything on it, don't pass it up. It's one of a kind at this point. And if you got the Elite model, just wait because it'll be worth it. You'll be ahead of the game. Even with the Odin 3, you know, easier, accessible. And even though now they're cutting down with the RAM, if you got your pre-order in for the Konkr Fit Elite, just keep it. Just hang in there. You'll be the man in, you know, January or February, whenever you get it, because once the drivers come, so you'll be the man like in March, we'll say. It'll be worth it. You'll be one of a kind. You know, and the price of the Elite version of this is going to go through the roof because, again, it's going to be one of a kind. And knowing A&O, they'll probably come out with something similar to whatever PC handheld they come out with and an Android version, and I'll probably have an OLED screen. I'll have, you know how they do. It's just going to be moving forward to the next one. But for right now, this thing the price to performance was unmatched. The G3 Gen 3, I just wanted another device with this chip because, again, you can't get it anywhere else. And the fact that Retroid Pocket 6 is doing the 8 Gen 2 just like brings down the value of the Odin. Even the Odin Portal, because you could just get a smaller screen, cheaper price, and you get like a Vita style with bumps. So it's like it's all wins and you don't pay that much, right? I know that's going to change soon too because of tariffs, or not tariffs, because just how the price is just going to go up because the pre-sale's over. So it takes away the value of the 8 Gen 2. We're already like past it now. But the G3 Gen 3, I wish more companies went after it. And it's, like I said, it's going to be probably forgotten in the dust. But who knows how long it's going to take for turn-up drivers for the Elite. And then on top of that, who knows after a turn-up driver comes out for the Elite, how well it's going to work with like everything, like Game Hub, like Eden, Citron, like everything. It's not going to fix everything. There's multiple turn-up drivers that fix things, and there's other ones that are the latest ones that don't work as well as other ones that were made from before. So it's like a whole game of waiting. That's why I got the Odin 3 with the 24 gigs. So I was like, I could put this over here and let it collect dust and worry about it later. And when stuff does start working and we have all that RAM, we'll see what we could do. But for now, it's like, get this. This is the handheld of 2026. It's going to be. It's going to be. They hyped it up, and Aineo was poor on shipping because this was hyped up before summertime even, and through summertime, and now we're going into January, and I just got mine, right? But it's going to be the handheld of 2026. Everything's going to work. Everything's going to work well. The prices, you can't beat the price. The ergonomics can't be beat. You can swap out the joysticks, no big deal. They do give you bigger joysticks, and they will fit if you just go into the bottom of it and just take like a tiny knife or something and just shave it down. It'll fit, and then shave it down a little more so it doesn't get stuck like it did on mine. I had to take it off gently and then shave it down more, and then you're good. The only thing is if you get the white model, it's going to turn yellow no matter what. I can't, even though the bigger ones are plastic, it does still turn yellow. It's such garbage. But get some gray joysticks. Like these are $8 from AYN. And then bam, if you got the white model. If you got the black and yellow or the black, even better. You could just swap out any of the AYN joysticks, the smaller ones, or the portal sticks. And those again are $8. And then you're good. Like this feels amazing. There's no getting in the way of the buttons. Like this is not gonna stop me from hitting the buttons because I could go here. And again, because of the grip, like hitting the buttons and worrying about the device is not a problem. And the joystick is not like directly below it. It's inset just a little bit. So again, this is no problem. But even if these are too big, you can swap them out for smaller ones. It's such a done deal, man. I can't get over it enough. Like I've shown off a bunch of handhelds in the past, like ones that like the Ace I didn't expect to get or order, or another Evo with more RAM. I didn't expect to get that. I just did it. And even the Thor, which I made a bunch of playlists today. I got like 7 videos on the Thor. So sad because it's the 8 Gen 2. It's like it doesn't appeal to me anymore. It just doesn't. But I like to go back and test things, especially with updates with emulators. So the 8 Gen 2 is not out. It's just I want to keep going with the G3 Gen 3. Now we have 2 devices to keep going. We have comparisons, budget, premium, which is better. I'm already leaning towards this because this was amazing. It feels amazing and it plays amazing. No issues. Too expensive, especially for the terabyte model. Done deal, right? However, the chip inside equal, no overheating problems, no need to change the thermal pad, none of that. I even rooted this thing to just change the saturation, not to improve performance because it didn't need to. I did another 3D wildlife mark on this in my gaming mode and I got like highest 5, lowest 5. That's more than enough, especially if the game is just going to work. I don't know what else to say. So I'm assuming it's all going to be the same here. And if what people are saying about the fan in here, it's bigger, so cooling might be even better. So it's even more of a done deal. I just wish more handhelds had this chip, and you got to take advantage. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet because I just don't know. Comparison video, it's coming. It'll be against the Pocket 2S. I could do 3D wildlife. I'll do that next after this video. I'll just run it and then take pictures and load them up on my YouTube just to see if there's any sort of difference, because who knows, you never know, right? But I'll fix my presets to match this and then we'll do a 3D wildlife mark. And again, that doesn't really matter, but it's always interesting to me to see, like, you know, how is this better? Is this set up right? Is this like gonna outperform this because of the cooling situation? Maybe it will, but we'll have to see. But overall, like, this is no budget handheld. The Odin 2 is not a budget handheld. Even now, it's still like, even on sale, it's not something that you'd get at a budget store, right? It's still premium, and this feels premium. The glass around here feels premium, and it's so nice because a lot of these handhelds like the Evo, the glass comes all the way out so you can feel it on the edge, and here you can't because, as you can see, they fixed that with the plastic going right over it just a little bit, so your hand, you don't cut yourself. Not that I'd cut myself on the Evo, but you can feel it a little bit. It's not as sleek as this is, so it's another improvement, you know? So I don't know what else to say. I am so excited for this thing. It's not gonna be any much different than this, just different design and ergonomics, higher refresh rate screen. So maybe when I play Eden on here, we'll be able to see those frames, because on, I think, regular Eden, we're held back at the 60 hertz screen. Eden Nightly, we can go past that on here and they'll show you the frames, but Eden, we get stuck. On here, any emulator that's a Switch emulator is going to show you the frames, especially if the screen's clocked to 144 hertz. I did this on the Evo, I did this on the Portal. The Portal goes 120, the Evo goes 165. I got games to work at 165 frames per second on here. So we're going to have a lot of fun with 144 hertz. Again, that's way more than enough, and it's just cool to see how far the chip can push a Switch 1 game. I don't know what else to say. This is the handheld of the year. It's just going to be whatever they come out with in February or March. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be something different, maybe better. But if they don't take advantage of this chip, and I hope they don't toss it to the side, because even the G2 chip, like, that should be in more budget, real budget handhelds, because it's a basically HN2, just a little weaker. Compatibility is all over the place. Like, don't abandon these chips. Please. The Elite, like, you'll see there's not a lot that works on it. A lot of PC games work because of force brute power, but this chip, the capabilities are pretty dang good, and the driver support is the latest turnip driver. It works. Like, there's no issues, and it's going to play things a little to a lot better than the HN2. So I wish I got the terabyte, but I am not rich, you know, and I got tons of these things. They all cost money, so I'm okay with the 512. You know, I'll just have to pick and choose what I'm going to be using it for. And I got my 2 terabyte SD card that I'll just pop in here. We'll pass the throne from this to this now and we'll focus on this. But I still want to do comparison game tests on both these devices to see, you know, how it does different besides the screen and, you know, the cost and everything else. But, like, is there any difference in performance? And we're going to start with a 3D Wildlife Mark bench press stress test. I'm going to do that right after I finish this video. But if you ordered your Konkr Fit, just hang in there. It is so worth it. Everything feels amazing. The screen is amazing. It's not my background, but that's okay. Like, you're going to have your own background, or maybe you just keep the Konkr Fit. But we're not even halfway. So if we turn it up, I mean, again, I don't have anything to do justice really, but the colors, let's see. I have to put a screen, I have to put my background on here to compare. That's the easiest way for me to do it. And I'll do that in a minute, but yeah, I mean, I have to look at it off camera, but the greens are great. Like, it is already a little oversaturated, which in my book, now this updated, right? So it took away my root and I couldn't access this, so I have to reroute it. Might root this too eventually, just for OLED effect, but this is unrooted. So you see the blue. See, it's a little brighter on here. So I can already tell, like, you know, the screen is pretty good on here. It might beat the Pocket S2 on its own. Obviously it's 1080, that's 1440 or 2K as they advertise, whatever. This chip can play Switch games at 2x. Not every Switch game, but a lot of them. And on here you can actually see the 2x. Here it'll just play 2x, but it'll be, you know, 1080p. So there's no need to do that. You can, but you can use the power for other things, which we're going to do, trust me. So yeah, I don't know. This thing's awesome. It's ergonomically everything I wanted it to be. It's got a good chip, and it reminds me of the Odin 2, and it's a little more comfortable than the Odin 2 because of the offset joystick. And these buttons right here, LC and RC, just can't be beat with doing tasks and stuff. It's my thing. And the front firing speakers are gonna blow these speakers out of the water. Just more to come. I just got it, so I'm gonna try to set up. Maybe I'll get time to get another video out here. But like I said, I'm gonna put 3D Wildlife stress test on here. We're gonna go straight to just comparing to the Pocket 2S Pro. Because if you order this and you're still hanging in there and you were wondering, like, is this budget handheld outperforming this? Well, we'll find out. And if it doesn't, maybe we could tweak it to perform the same, or who knows, maybe it will outperform it, because the rumor is the fan is bigger. So we'll see. But that's gonna be it for right now. Just hang in there, just hang in there, just hang in there, just hang in there. It's totally worth it, totally worth it. Even if you got 12 gigs, totally worth it. It's just got a good chip, good form factor, change the sticks, you're golden. Whatever color you get, doesn't matter. It's not gonna be beat. Not gonna be beat. Trust me. I have all these ones, and like, this feels amazing on its own. Get a screen protector, that's it. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.